Let's next take up Representative Cuna's bill. That's 5703. This act would require that election supplies furnished by the Board of Elections would be delivered to or picked up by the proper officer as determined by the board no later than 12 o'clock p.m. on the day before the election. Bob, would you like to tell us about that bill? And John Marion, if you want to come up, you're signed up on this as well.
Again, this bill was introduced at the request of the Board of Elections. This bill the changes to this bill will bring the bill into a more secure situation where the equipment is delivered with the supplies. And what I mean is that the voting equipment, the supplies are all delivered to each and every polling place in the state of Rhode Island, and it needs to be delivered by 12 p.m. the day before the election. This current law says that the supplies can be delivered 3 days prior, and that some of the supplies are picked up by the local board of canvassers at the Board of Elections and taken to the individual polling places. We have the capability with the way that we transport our voting equipment to deliver the supplies at the same time. So that would eliminate the Board of Canvassers having to come to the Board of Elections.
Thank you, Bob. Any questions? Representative Corvese.
So instead of 3 days before, they have it up until noon the day before. So you're giving yourself 2.5 extra days
to deliver. The day before would be Monday. Otherwise, we don't make deliveries Saturdays and Sundays.
So really, you're moving it from Friday to Monday.
Right, 12 o'clock.
Have you had a problem?
Never.
Then what's the impetus for the change?
Because this law that you currently have on the books was a law that was on the books when we had the old shoot machines.
Yeah.
The shoot machines have been gone for many years, and now this law would be brought into a current practice.
You don't have any problem with this time factor?
We do not.
And when you say delivered or picked up by the proper officer as determined by the state board, you're crossing out local canvassing authority. Would that proper officer still be the local canvassing authority?
It could be. Because the way
what else could it be?
It could also be a police officer from the local community, or it can also be the vendor that is hired by the state board to deliver the equipment.
Is there a reason why there isn't one standard authority that would be involved with this?
It would more than like it would be the vendor under contract with the state board.
As opposed to the local canvassing authority?
Yes. This is a benefit to the local canvassers.
Did the local canvassers weigh in on this?
I believe they would. They do.
Have they?
Yes.
And they agree with this?
Yes.
Thank you.
Could we hear from Mr. Marion?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the committee. We support this. The board has a bunch of bills tonight that we weighed in before the board as they were considering them, and we're supportive of them because they're trying to make some adjustments to how they're administering our elections, including issues of chain of custody of the machines, and we support they're taking a look at this and making these adjustments because we think they're necessary.
Thank you. Any questions for Common Cause? Yes, Representative Corvese.
Has there been a problem with chain of custody?
I mean, Bob's the expert on their ability to time the rollout of the machines and the ballots. We have seen some issues that we have shared in our reports over the years about chain of custody issues, making sure that the machines are, for instance, locked in closets or whatnot when they're delivered before election night. We're supporting their efforts to try to make sure that they have the flexibility under the statute to do it the way they think they need to.
That was a very roundabout answer that didn't tell me much, John.
Okay, sorry.
Go ahead, Bob. Take a swing at it.
The chain of custody exists that when the equipment leaves Branch Avenue and is delivered to each and every one of the polling places in the state, that the Board of Canvassers for the respective polling place is to meet the vendor at that location. They check the equipment that has been delivered and they sign off that that equipment has been delivered and secured.
Any more questions for either of these witnesses? Okay, that will conclude testimony on House Bill 5703.